Good evening, folks. My name is Jay, and welcome to a live Monday edition of the Talking Gator, where we're going to wrap up Florida football, move into Florida basketball later in the show. We do have a pretty amazing show for you today. I lost my spot in my notes. I'm sorry. Before we get into that, I do want to ask you a favor. Please hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. That really helps us out. If you like what we're doing here, you want to hear more about Florida basketball, we ask you come join us here. It's very amateur. I'm a fourth-string Monday morning quarterback, joined by here, I'll introduce later, my assistant armchair head coach, Donnie B. We're also going to be joined by someone who really made an impression on me on another show, High Top Sports. Very, very good show. If you haven't checked that out, go check it out. Terrell White, he spilled it a few weeks ago, and I love the energy. I wanted to bring that to the Talking Gator. I invited him to come do that here to wrap up our football season 2023, kind of get his thoughts going into 2024. I'm sure he has a lot to say. We'll get to that. And then, of course, we want to give away 2 men's basketball tickets to the SEC opener against Kentucky. We're going to give those away today on this show, but you need to be watching and you need to be subscribed, and then you're going to get the cue to comment. And then over there in the comment, you got to be a member to comment. Or, sorry, I keep saying member. You have to be a subscriber to comment. I have commenting closed to anyone who's not a subscriber. So you're going to have to comment to win. We're going to give 2 tickets, and that's an orange out because Kentucky, when we play Kentucky, we got to orange out. The Talking Gator also wants to give you a gift card to the official online Gator Sports Shop so that you and your friend can swag out to that game. Of course, that's going to be coming up here later. Let's see, where are we? Gosh, man, I just rolled right through those notes without looking at any of them. Let me bring the guys in. I got Donnie B and my man Terrell. Terrell don't have his video on, but he's right there. Terrell, you with us?
I am. Thank you for having me on Talking Gator.
No, man, we appreciate you coming and seeing us here. Looking forward to what you have to say. And Donnie B, good seeing you again, Bubba.
What's up, my man? How you doing, Jay?
How was your Thanksgiving?
I look forward to our conversation, man. It's going to be pretty awesome. My Thanksgiving, I'm still eating leftovers, dude, so it must have been good.
Terrell,
leftovers there.
Terrell, how was your Thanksgiving? I know you have a young one in your house, so this is
yes, I have. I got a 1-year-old.
New traditions.
What? Yes, so I spent half the time, and I live in the Washington D.C. area now, so I spent half the time in the D.C. area, half the time back home in the Hampton Roads area. So it was pretty good. I'm not eating leftovers because I'm not the biggest Thanksgiving food fan, so I eat it the day of, and then I kind of move on to something different. So you must have an excellent cook in your house,
dude. I'm so glad I didn't know that before you came on the show because we probably would have denied you access. This is my favorite
food portion, not the day. The day itself. The day itself is very important. Obviously, get to see friends and family and get together and enjoy those memories and laughs. But the food, after one day, I'm done with it.
My lunch at work today, which I had to go to the lounge to get food because my lunch today was the first non-Thanksgiving meal since Thursday. It's been turkey sandwiches, and my wife has her mother's recipe where she kind of takes a lot of the leftovers, just throws it in a pot, cooks the turkey down, and calls it dead turkey bird soup, and it is just the most magnificent. We've had that for 2 nights, and today, when I was getting ready for work, I was like, I'm not making a turkey sandwich. I'm going to get me a club. It's time for a club sandwich. So, and then we had ribeyes tonight for dinner. So Terrell, we've broke out of the Thanksgiving food here, but that's one of my favorite meals of the year is the Thanksgiving meal. Terrell, we usually start our show off with the booms and busts, what we liked and what we didn't like from the previous game. And I'm so ready to move past football season that I really don't even want to talk about the last game, but I know we have to. We have to debrief mentally, emotionally. We have to get our feelings out. Donnie,
Yeah.
I wanna tell you this is a little bit of an unfair advantage. I did invite Terrell here because I don't really feel like doing the booms and busts from this game, and this man, right? If anybody can Monday morning quarter, I'm four string. This dude is starting straight up all day, all
No.
day long. I'm four string to this guy. He ripped it apart, and he says things that I want to say. He does it a lot more eloquently than I do. The passion just speaks through him a little hotter than it does me. But
Yeah.
I am going to come to you first because we start every show off. Donnie B, what do we start him off with?
Booms and busts.
The booms. That's a great graphic I make, and you guys can't hear it, but when I was making that graphic with the sound in it, it scared the shit out of me. I jumped out of my chair of myself. Donnie B, I am going to let you lead this off with your booms from the Florida State game. I don't have much to say other. I could give the defense some props, right?
You're wounded, Jay. Yeah, you're
They
wounded. That's not
they
you.
I am, man.
You're wounded.
I am.
Yeah.
I hated seeing Graham Mertz on the sideline not being there. I
Yeah.
hate seeing Jordan Travis up in that box. I really wanted them two on the field. I know the energy was. I felt the energy pregame. It was still kind of weird with with the two backups and the two big guns. We lose anyway. I'd much rather had lost 50-0 to Jordan Travis than I would.
That wouldn't have happened
to Rodemaker. But anyway,
yeah.
It's our defense did it was kind of like the tables turn when the offense was kind of a little stally. Special teams was even kind of weird. This past Trey, King Smack, he's solid. We can usually count on him, but was it 3 missed? That's uncharacteristic. And then the defense, who struggled all but what maybe it was those first couple games, they stepped up and made granted, it wasn't a major right defense. Okay, I mean, we weren't making those kind of tackles, but we were getting to the ball and we were making the stops, especially up front when we needed to, make stops. And I want to say before I turn it over to you, Donnie, I'm sorry I got a little long-winded on that one, that I trash talked Desmond Watson the last 2 weeks. Okay, that man stepped up and acted like he wanted to play this past Saturday. So props to you, Desmond Watson. Thank you for watching the Talking Gator and listening to my dues last week. You stepped up and played your ass off. Definitely better than I've seen you play prior to the year. Donnie, what are your booms from Florida State?
Well, I mean, I was pumped up. The crowd was electric. I really thought that, I was kind of putting on my good orange and blue sunglasses as we do to see what we could do and try to talk myself into how this would be just like a major upset. I thought the crowd,
I must have went and got orange and blue LASIK. That's what I went and got. Go ahead.
I had really thought that the 12th man would make a difference with 2 backup quarterbacks, and it did for a half. But that's my biggest boom. I did think that the defense played really good the first half. I don't know if the same team come out in the second half, but they started out better. We scored first. We're not used to that all year, so we did score first. Other than that, in one other game we scored first. That mattered. I mean, look, I was really impressed with the crowd. I really was. The defense, and I'm anxious to see how we go from here.
Good points there, Donnie. It was strange. It was a strange game and it started last weekend. The hype going into the game was
we'll get into the busts.
was just weird, but it was good to see the
Yeah.
last games, a certain phase of the game, certain players of the game step up and put on a show. It's obvious that, again, these orange and blue Lasix, that we get this little flash of Max Brown last week, and then we put our orange and blue glasses on going into the following week, thinking that Max Brown is gonna just blow it up. But it's more than that. It's how the gears fit in the offense, and
In the
one
tape.
gear doesn't fit, and one gear slips, and
Right.
it's the
And
wrong play, then you struggle. I think he got out of the pocket a little early in some occasions.
Yeah.
I think he tried to
Right.
escape and get on his feet and depend
Yeah.
on that. And that's only going to come with time. Terrell had an interesting point, and I want to get to that later about Max Brown, his fate coming forward, but that's going to be more in our dues coming into 2024. Terrell, I'm coming to you,
Yes.
man. It's your turn. Stage is yours. What are your booms? And you can roll right from your booms into your busts from the Florida State game. The stage is yours for 2 acts. Go ahead, sir.
Okay. So my booms for the game. Honestly, I came into the game with no expectations of how we would perform. But I was as excuse me, as any other Gator fan, I was pleasantly surprised the way our defense performed. Right, they put up a hellacious effort the first half. We get the safety. We get back to back 3-and-outs. We have the QB looking dazed. He looks befuddled, looks lost, looks all of those things. Right. Obviously, that him and the defense and Austin Armstrong. Those was the booms for the game. Right. The safety was probably the loudest the stadium was all night from what I could see on television. So I mean, there's nothing else that can compare to that first half defensive effort, right? But other than the 7 points we gave up, but right before the half, other than that, up into that 12-0 start, everything was going in our favor, and I felt like we had an opportunity. Well, 13-0 start, however the score was. I felt like we had an opportunity.
We were humming that first quarter.
The first couple of drives, the safety, the sacks, the pressure, the blitzes was actually getting home. That was probably my biggest boom because we blitz, and it seemed like our blitzes, everyone would get picked up, right?
Every time, year.
It seemed like we never had an opportunity. No rusher came free and actually had an opportunity to get a clean shot on the quarterback, right? But this game,
Ellen's fingers have to be like a quarter inch shorter because of just brazing quarterbacks with his fingertips all year.
Yes, so that was the boom for me, right? The biggest, the defense, Austin Armstrong, and the blitz scheme that he implemented for this game, it actually worked for, I would say, about a quarter and 3/4 of the second quarter. They actually got home. And the biggest bust for me, the one thing that I poo-poo, just a no-no for me, is spitting on another man. Like that, the Jamari Lyons play is a no-no for me in any aspect of life. Whether it's Pop Warner, Pee Wee, high school, NFL, like you never spit on another person, regardless of whatever the instance is, right? So that was a bust, right? Hopefully, it's a learning experience. I don't necessarily think he needs to be kicked off. He may need to be taken off scholarship for the spring, and then he comes back on scholarship for the fall or something. If he can work his way back in the good graces. I don't want to say one bad decision at 19 or 20 that tears your whole life and your opportunity moving forward. But I'm not a head coach. That was my biggest bust. And then I have to go back to the rinse and repeat offense of Billy Napier. Like that in itself right there, it's been the same I'm not gonna say sad story, the same story all season, right? The first 2 drives are normally schemed to the T. I feel like he can scheme with as good the first 2 drives is as good as coach in America, right? I feel like any coach in America can compete with any other coach for the first 2 drives. After that, it becomes stale. It becomes more mundane. We see he seems to be lost in the feel and the flow of the game. So those are my 2 busts right there. The spitting incident, which is something I decry. I never want to see done on the football field from a Florida player, any player for that general. And then the play calling the Billy Napier he didn't have Max Brown as prepared as much as I thought he would for Max Brown being in the system for 2 years. Like, let's remember, Max Brown is a redshirt freshman. That means he's been on campus for 2 years, right? So you knew his strengths and weaknesses for the last 2 seasons. This isn't like he's a true freshman. This is his first opportunity. You seeing him? He didn't play. He didn't do anything. You knew if he couldn't read defenses, you knew you should have had the whole game plan, running out read options, and don't have him sitting back and just trying to read defense from that. Give him half field reads, right? Give him. You're only looking at the right side of the field. We're gonna run a high-low concept. If it's there, it's there. If it's not, it's not, right? He didn't provide that for Mac Brown, which was disappointing, right? The first couple of drives, Mac Brown made some throws, converted some third downs. After that, it was basically he was a sitting duck with the offensive line that we put on the field, right? Our offensive line was is another bust. But these are things we knew going into the game. I was hopeful that maybe Billy Napier could scheme around that, keep 7, 8, maybe. I mean, send 2 people on the route. I mean, one person on the route. I don't know. Whatever he needed to do, because I mean, like I said on other shows, Billy Napier is an offensive guy, right? His stake to claim is he's an OC, right? He was an OC at Clemson, and he wanted to call plays here instead of hiring an offensive coordinator. I just felt like he left a lot to be desired with his creativity, knowing he was coming into not even a hostile environment, but a big game for his freshman quarterback. So those are my busts: the spitting incident, the play calling from Billy Napier, and just the lack of gravitas from the O line in those instances right there. So it's only you, Donnie.
I'm right on top of that.
You put it,
Terrell. I'm sorry, Donnie, real quick. I'm right on top of that, Terrell, and it just seems like just when we're trying to get over some stupid incident, the shoe, right? We get this now this is going to follow us for another season and a half, right? The spitting. That's going to be 2 seasons we're going to deal with that, and then in 2 seasons it's going to be something else stupid. Right on. Those things need to be cleaned up. When I've coached ball, and I've coached it at a really a much younger level, not college ball, but one of the things that I preached to players was certain things that the championship team is doing right now. For instance, the championship team, their locker room is spotless, okay? The janitor's not coming up and picking up your shit. The equipment crew is not coming up and picking up your stuff, after practices in a game. After practice, you're going to sweep. You're going to mop the locker room, right? You're going to make sure that your laundry and those things are all taken care of. The cleaning crew is only going to come in and just make sure you did it. Basically, take the trash out maybe because the dumpster's locked. Just do that. Those were little things that I preached. And spitting, Donnie, you'd probably agree with me. Not one Swanee coach at Swanee High School would allow a player to ever step back on that field if that were to happen. That's a no-go. That's a no-go, and that should be learned. That was developed a long time ago. That shouldn't have, right? He didn't just learn that shit. So it should have been nipped in the bud a long time
I wholeheartedly
ago.
agree with you. Like I said, like it's one of the things you don't do to another human being, let alone a man on a football field, right? So
Right.
But I also want to say, like, everything in life you go through is a learned experience, right? So obviously, like, this is a learning experience for that young man. I don't think the rest of his life should be taken away from him. Now, what I say, I mean, you make mistakes, and some mistakes you pay with them costly. Now, I'm not the one that's gonna make this final decision. Like I said, you can take him on scholarship, make him pay his own way for a semester, and see if he really wants to be a Gator. If not, send him on his way packing. And go find another D-tack on the transfer portal.
Hey, everybody is a hero in
pads.
pads and a speed flex, right? Everybody's a hero in pads
true.
and speed flex. The one thing you did say, and I'm gonna turn it over to Donnie. I'm sorry, Donnie. Was that I mentioned in this to myself in this last game after that first little quarter is Billy is playing this game like he's 30 points ahead in the fourth quarter. He's talking about the offense going stale. We come out hot, and then he did that kind of little back off. I wasn't crazy about the trick play, but kind of exploring the the differences. We got to there where the pre-look was. We ran 3 different pre-looks in the second half. 3 different formations and pre-looks. That was it. Maybe a 4th random one in there, but to your point, it gets very stale. It's really hot to start out with, and that's the starting fast we've talked about, but then it kind of dulls off and stales off. Donnie B, what do you got to say about that?
Yeah, but I don't put this on Napier, man. I really don't. That's going to blow your mind, but I really don't. I mean, look, he's inherited we've talked about on the show. He inherited a dumpster fire from the beginning. It's going to take a little while. We're going to have to be patient, But let me tell you, I played quarterback at Gainesville High School, and so, I mean, Jay, I didn't move here until I was, out of college. But anyway, I've been here for a long time. I'm an old guy compared to you guys. Y'all are young bucks. but anyway,
they had football back then. Did they have helmets when you played?
Let me tell you, listen, we won the state championship. Thank you. So we did something. We accomplished something. But when I played quarterback, if you went down in the pile, you were getting goobers. You were getting all kinds of spit all over you. You were getting poked in the eye.
Oh yeah, no doubt. That's in every pile.
So it happens. It happens. But you don't do it the way the kid did it. All right. So he just basically just spit a big old goober in the man's face. That's just discipline issues.
There's certain things though. There's being, elbowed in the ribs, kneed in the ribs on the bottom of a pile, and
breaking
and I'm gonna tell you, the skinny white boy that makes a play, he gets the brunt end of it at the bottom of a pile. When the skinny white boy makes a play at the bottom of the pile, it is shit for him. But this is I don't ever remember. We played Belglade High School. Donnie, you know Belglade High School down in South Florida, Miami.
I remember it.
Never got spit on. Never got spit on. Never got cussed at. We got cussed at. But.
This has nothing. This has what I'm saying is though. I mean, he did it, bluntly. I don't blame that on Napier. I blame on some of these assistant coaches have to take some of this responsibility too. They're more, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Billy Napier never even messes with them. Now he's going to have to discipline to do because, obviously it's not the lesson's not being learned in practice, but it's a reaction thing, and it's just a kind of a move that you're on national television and it's exposed, and it's big exposed, and it doesn't help your program at all.
Oh God, but this is why I didn't want to talk about this fucking game.
Billy Napier is we got to give him some time and get his players in there. Our offensive line is garbage. I mean,
I would agree.
It's a garbage. I
would agree.
They might be big, and we talked about at the beginning of the year, 6'8", 320, 330, whatever. But man, if you can't move your feet and you can't block, we got two 70s, a 76 and a 75. I don't even think they can block for Florida A&M. Huh?
Damian George. I have got a great idea. They should switch Damian George and Desmond Watson. Let Desmond Watson play left guard, slide the guard out to tackle because he's a big old boy, and see what Damian George do on the defensive, and maybe he can learn some offensive linemen from the defensive side of the ball.
He needs to go.
Yeah, I agree.
He needs to just slide inside. He just needs to slide inside. Maybe be a guard, and maybe he has athleticism shows there. But tackle, it's impossible to go. If he's just starting tackle starting anywhere on the offensive line next year, other than guard, then we have a problem. We have a huge problem.
Yeah, right guard even maybe.
You know where he's going? December 4th, he's in the portal because he ain't playing next year at the University of Florida. We're going to find somebody better.
I don't disagree.
You say that, and this, but if I don't want to. I think he could be a good backup tackle in spots. Like you can use him if somebody goes down, you put him on the play. Like you can't just you need depth, right? Because injuries happen.
That's a good point.
Injuries, attrition happen. You just can't get rid of all 13 offensive linemen that we have and say we're gonna bring in 13 more. We got some freshmen on the bench who didn't play. Kanaji Harris, Roderick Kearney. I think obviously we're gonna get some other guys, a couple other freshmen who came in. But I don't think you can just get rid of all of them. Yes, you may want to weed one or two out who definitely didn't work or who aren't playing and free up those scholarships. But we just can't get rid of all of them. I mean, maybe we need more competition. We need another coach, right?
Well, he wasn't playing left tackle. He was playing.
Yeah, he was. Damian George was at left tackle.
Yes,
he was the lookout. He was the lookout scout, telling the quarterback to look out, it's coming.
I'm with you, Dottie. But my whole thing is, like I said on other platforms, we need to go hire Phil Twartwine, a Gator legend from Penn State, and bring him and make him our offensive line coach, right? He's put on elite offensive linemen in the NFL. Sometimes it takes another coach to mold these guys. Maybe Rob Sale and Donnell Stapleton aren't good coaches, but Billy was loyal to them because they helped Billy become what Billy was at Louisiana Lafayette. We go get an elite level coach. Maybe he can teach them new techniques, a new voice. And some of those things matter. I'm not saying they need to be started. We need to hit the portal hard, none of that stuff. But I just don't think we can just get rid of all of them, knowing we need at least 13.
Well, what I'm saying,
spring camp and all that type of stuff.
Hey, looking behind them, that's going to come in. They got to
yes.
be entitled to the position.
Yes. No. Nobody.
If you whiff 3 times in a row, I've got to bring somebody else in, man. I cannot afford my quarterback to get killed.
I'll do you one better, Donnie. I'll do you one better, Donnie. I don't think anybody on the team has a guaranteed spot, a starting spot next year. Nobody. Nobody.
Nobody.
I mean, no, but every position is up for grabs, and that raised a lot of alarms when I said that the other night, and I especially say that about quarterback, right? Because I'm thinking I have a bigger picture that I'll dive in a little deeper when we get to that topic for the 2024 season and the 2025 season. How the Florida Gators can get back to the national prominence that we once.
The 2024 season, Terrell, is a nightmare. So
No,
I don't.
it doesn't have to be though. I'm telling you, it doesn't have to be, Donnie. I have a plan. If everyone listens to me, I have a plan, and hopefully, the Talking Gator can do me one favor when we dive into what the future looks like and pulls up the 2024 schedule, and I can give you a breakdown of how the Florida Gators can have a plan to get to the college football playoff, which is expanding to 12 teams next year. But I don't think we're good enough to make it in 2024. But I think we'll be great. We'll be good enough to make it as an 11, 12 team in 2025.
Well, I tell you what, let's
you
get one step closer.
You want to start DJ next year,
and I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna tell you why, Don. Hear me out, Don.
We're gonna get to that because he has a pretty good take on that's going to be in our 2024 dues. So let's roll through it quickly before we get into that, because that's kind of where this conversation is starting to head, is into 2024, and I can't say I blame you. I want to get there. But let's look at the 2023 season as a whole, Donnie B. Let's move away from just, this game. As bad as the season was, and as much as that game kind of is kind of a smaller picture of the whole season, the season as a whole. Let's talk about the whole season. Let's do kind of the same thing, booms and busts. You take this away with your booms for 23.
Yeah, your record is what you say you are. I mean, that's the bottom line, right?
Amen.
There's no, a lot of the people that I kind of laughed at said, you'd be lucky if you win 4 games. I was like, man, there's no way. We're the Florida Gators, dude. There's no way with the games that we have in the swamp, the games that we have, we should compete against the Kentuckys, the Missouris. Which Missouri's had a great season, don't get me wrong. But all of these games, I went into them feeling like we had a chance. The only one I didn't think we had a chance, well, there's 2 of them, LSU and Georgia. The rest of them I thought we had a chance. What I've looked at from the teams on TV, I watch a lot of SEC football, not just Florida. And I felt like that all those games that we had a chance on, even Shane felt like we'd be 8-4. And if we would eliminate the mistakes, we talked about, we are 3 points, 12 points away from being, we're 12 points away from being 8-4, 7-5, and we're 3 points away from being 4-8. So when I say that, it's just one of those seasons where we just felt like the kids played really hard for Napier this year. I don't care what anybody says. Those kids didn't quit. They did not quit. Agree. They played as hard in the talent level that they have. But the bottom line is our front lines, our offensive line and our defense line, are not SEC caliber to compete in, week week out. They can't do it. We got to build the depth. We got to be able to start feeling what it takes, a taste of winning a big game. Napier has to win a big game next year. But we were so close this year. I mean, look, a lot of what happened Saturday, and that just kind of was the season, was the fact that, we have some playmakers. We had really unfortunate with Merch going down. And you put a kid in there that has hardly any game experience, because we haven't had a game where we've had blowouts where we've been able to play the backups. We really haven't.
That's true.
And so he didn't have a lot of experience. But that first couple drives that he did against Missouri, and Florida State got tape on him. The Florida State got tape on him, so they knew exactly what he was going to do to be able to shut that down. But Billy Napier has to learn to adjust, to do something. That's the only weakness I see, is that he has to adjust. He's got to.
Can I ask one question, Donnie? Before I didn't mean to cut you off. Can I ask one question? Do you think he should be the OC moving into 2024? You think he should still call his own plays?
It depends. It depends on who he gets. Like, he's recruited to the kind of kids that he wants. He's got to get an OC that he wants. Like, okay, let's take Mississippi State. They had a bunch of kids that were could pass block, but they can't run block. Mm-hmm. And their coach dies. The next year they got a coach that wants to run the football every time. You can't put a square peg in a round hole. All right,
we agree. Yeah.
So Billy Napier, if he can find someone that adapts to doing what he wants them to do, and he can focus on the team and us as a whole, and somebody carry on his plan, that's fine. But you're not going to get somebody that's going to come in here under Billy Napier and throw it 40 times a game. You know what I mean? So it's got to be somebody that meets it's got to be able to work. And I don't know who that OC is that's out there that will do that.
I turn y'all loose for just like 1 minute to go refill my coffee, and y'all are
Do
already
you see
talking
what
about
I'm
next
saying, Terrell?
year.
Do you agree with that?
I agree with you in sentiment, right? This is my only thing. This is what we get into I get into like a little hesitancy to believe in Billy as an OC. When it comes to Billy as an OC, I think he does a great job at the run game, right? I think he our pull plays, our counter plays, our zone blocking scheme. I think he does a great job in the run play. It's our pass game, and maybe it's the offensive line that was holding us back this year. But even the year prior with Anthony Richardson, I didn't really see the creativity that you desire, that you need in today's football, right? Like the one thing that I desire that we don't have is explosive. Like I said this the other night. How many times did you see a Florida offense have a scoring drive less than 10 plays? It felt like everything, it was so hard to score. Like we never had a 2-play drive,
Amen.
a 3-play drive, a 4-play drive. Like everything had to be, we got to get a 3rd and 9. We gotta get it. We don't have anything just explosive. I'm not take out the Charlotte game, the McNeese State game.
Yeah.
Take out all them games. I don't count those games. Those are cupcakes. You're supposed to break off 50-yard runs on cupcakes. I'm talking about the games that matter, the teams that are equal or a talent above. We've never had any. We rarely had an explosive. And those
but
you
Terrell,
can't live. Yes, I'm gonna let you go ahead, Don.
But Terrell, this is the thing. He couldn't with that offensive line. You can't have explosive plays. You can't. You can't do that.
I disagree with that. I disagree with. Let me tell you why I disagree with that, Donnie. Just 1 second, and I'll tell you why. I feel like you can scheme up some things, right? I feel like everybody knows coming out. Typically, we're a run-heavy team. Like the double pass aside, right?
You better be able to spread the ball. More than just 2 or 3 players.
Yes,
sure.
I don't mind the double play call against the Florida State game. But I felt like that's maybe something you start off with on the first drive, like instead of doing the momentum of the game. That I think his feel is a little off during the game. I think, like I said, he's an excellent run game play caller, and he's an excellent scripter of the first 10 to 15 plays. We always typically score on the first drive, or at least get in the field goal range. I give him that. But I just think we need somebody to bring in because most of these kids the ball wants to be thrown. Not a lot of kids want to come and just be the run blocker and thinking you get to the NFL. That's not typically your wide receiver. You want at least an opportunity to pass the ball to come to you, right? Like in today's football, this isn't 2001. This isn't you just about to run.
The ball wants to be thrown. That is the quote of the century. I love it. The ball wants to be thrown.
Like nobody just like these recruits that you're recruiting, they want to get 5 touches a game, maybe, right? 5 opportunities. And I'm not saying Billy's not capable of doing that. I just don't see that level of creativity where he targets a playmaker and he utilizes him to the umpteenth degree, right? You see what I'm saying? That's my only thing. Now, I know the offensive line was a detriment. Donnie, and I'm with you.
They average over 30 points a game on all SEC teams.
Can I tell you? Can I say something?
Fast thinker under center.
Can I tell you, even with that, like, come on.
And there's your check down.
Well,
so
I'm gonna give you. How many points were down? We down versus Georgia. How many points did we lose by? What, 20? And we score a whole bunch of points. We score a whole bunch of points in meaningless time, right? Would you agree with that?
But
Georgia game was meaningless points.
I promise you, if I agree with what you're saying, but if I promise you, if we scored 30-something points at a defense of 3 or 4 must-champ defense.
Yes, we
would be playing for the SEC championship.
Yes. If we had a must-champ defense, yes. No, I can't say that. Explain this to me, Donnie. Explain this to me. Now, why do we have these lows? Because every defense gets fatigued if you keep them on the field. You would agree with that, right?
Yeah.
Every defense, what now?
Gets fatigued when you keep having 3 and outs, right?
Well, that's a depth issue. That's why he has to build the program.
Okay. I'm saying we could have Muschamp calling the defensive plays, but we had the same talent we have right now. The defense, our frontline starters are good enough to get 3 and outs. But when we constantly give 3 and outs away on the offensive end, that's when we come into our issue. We agree with that. But what I'm saying is,
we're not an experimental. We're not an experimental program. We're a Division I leading programs, win national champions. You don't go get a 29-year-old defense coordinator that has no experience being a DC.
Also, too, if you have these schemes on defense that are complicated. This is SEC ball, right? Ball wants to be thrown. If you're teaching freshmen that just don't get these complicated schemes, then it don't matter how good your schemes are if they can't execute. If they
It's
can't be
not.
intelligent, fast thinking enough, defensive ball is fat. You have to be a ball hound and you have to
That
be a
is.
fast thinker.
It is
I would
not.
agree. I agree.
It's not. It's not. The scheme is not that hard.
Well,
All
it's
they're doing is moving the eyes of the defense. People running around, they're going to do the same route. Am I
it's
wrong?
not it's not Donnie when number one when we're sitting here watching it from an elevated view, and number two when I'm really trying to think of it with empathy. I'm trying to think of it as an 18-year-old boy. Okay, I'm an 18-year-old boy out there playing on what should be one of the top elite schools in the nation, trying to make my team become that. And this stuff is it's just, I mean, hell, Donnie, I can barely put
Fix the
together
O-line and the D-line.
an hour show without fucking something up, right? And
Fix the O line and the D line, and those guys look a whole lot
so
better.
it could be,
I would
it could
agree.
be
The
a
D
shade
line
of
was
both. You've got a
the
young man teaching other young men, and sometimes it takes experience to teach, right? Just because you know something doesn't mean you can teach it effectively. So we have a young man teaching young players something that is probably he understands well, but hasn't developed the routine on how to teach that or coach that efficiently. Maybe his scheme does work, maybe it doesn't.
I can do freaking cartwheels on the sideline. I can do all that high five, jumping up and get knocked down by the big boys. I can do all that too. But the bottom
Talk
line
about
is,
that all you want. I'd love to see Billy and Napier do more of that, actually.
well, he's the CEO. CEOs don't do that.
I don't care. I'd
But
love to see Billy have
the
that
CEO,
energy.
though. He's the offensive coordinator more than anything. I don't see much CEOing. I see offensive coordinator. That's
Well,
what we will.
The
I will
closest
part
thing
ways
we
with
had
the
to
road
a
of that.
CEO was Graham Mertz. That's the closest thing we
I
had
don't
to
think
a manager.
that's my because if he was a CEO, he calls timeouts before when we don't have enough people on the field when it comes kickoff. We got too many people. If we don't CEOs
Thank you.
recognize it. So like I'm gonna give you a CEO. Kirby Smart. You remember last year in the playoffs, Ohio State was about to run a fake punt. He called timeout right before they ran the fake punt. That's the CEO for you. He sees something that he's watching the game. He's in tune. He's not worried about the next series on defense or offense. He's watching the game as it happens. And he has a feeling of what's happening, and he's in the moment. Sometimes, like I think, not to Billy's fault since he wants to be the OC. I say sometimes he's too removed from the actual game because he has to focus so much on offense, which is his baby, and I understand that. But sometimes he needs. That's why I feel like we need an OC for him to step back, for him to be able to dabble in all the meeting rooms and coach up guys and be more spirited on the sideline.
I don't disagree with that, but what I'm saying to you, see, I go way back. I go back to Doug Dickey days, man. I go way back. When I was 6 years old, I was selling Cokes at the Swamp. All right, I go way back.
You definitely got me there.
Barefooted in the snow.
No, I'm being serious. Like I was selling Cokes at 6 years old at the Swamp. I had my little change thing, and I do the change, get the drinks and all that. Oh yeah, I go blow it at the College Inn across the street every day.
He's also related to Sandra Bullock.
Yeah, no. But anyway, you're funny.
Random.
But anyway, so I mean, I've seen a lot of patterns, and like we talked about before the show, was that there hadn't been a whole lot of wins for Florida. There's been 2 eras, Spurrier era and Urban Meyer. Mm-hmm. There's been a couple things that are a little trickled in here and there, but what we don't need to do is hire a man and tell him what he needs to do. We either go with him, believe in him, and let him do it. And then if it doesn't win, he doesn't show anything within 4 to 5 years, and get rid of him because it's going to take time. I'm telling you,
isn't that
Dan
what we've
Mullen,
done?
Dan Mullen is we're only in his second year, man. He's only played 2 years.
I mean, over the last.
They're going to fire
years.
Norvell after 2 years at Florida State. They wanted to fire him.
I'm with you. No, I don't want to fire. I'm with you, Donnie. I think for me personally, he has until the 2025 season is his make or break season. Yeah. That gives him 3 recruiting classes in. That gives him 3 portal seasons. That gives him his franchise quarterback, his first round quarterback, DJ Lagway. All of that stuff is there. Like he has everything at his expense. 2025 season is a make or break season for me. Like next year, if we move forward to next year, I'll give you my hopes for him, and hopefully everybody can see like how it can kind of help work for us. But you mean like 2025 is deal or no deal for him.
I was
Let's
about
roll
to
it.
say this 2023 bucket has spilled over to 2024. We just need to go ahead
Cautious
and bite
about
that. Yeah.
2023.
Let's wipe 2023 from the memory officially here on the Talking Gator. This will put an official end to our football season. Let's talk about 2024. And
I'm waiting before you go, Jay. Jay, hold on a second. Hold on. I want to ask this one more last question about 2023.
Are you asking me or Terrell?
For you and Terrell.
Both of
For
us.
you and Terrell.
All right, go ahead.
Okay.
When you were watching that Florida State game.
Oh God.
All right.
It was a 9mm.
12 to nothing. Wait a minute. It was 12 to nothing. Did you think we were going to win that game?
Yes. No.
I wasn't sold on it.
But I wasn't sold. I thought we left points on the field. We left too many points.
Yep.
As a matter of fact,
nothing,
I felt uneasy about
yes.
the 12-0. I felt uneasy about it
because I feel like two touchdowns is not a lot. Like you can get two explosives, a blown coverage, a turnover, and you already gave up two touchdowns.
And that's Florida State's game.
Offense.
Florida State's game was explosive, right? Was all season, just kind of lackluster offense, but just one or two big plays a game.
With Travis.
I just felt uneasy. If we was up 21 now, I would have said game's in the bag. If we had scored touchdowns on some of those drives when we stalled out and we missed field goal, had we made every field goal, I thought we might have won because we may have been up 18. I think we may have won.
There's the
I think at 12 to nothing.
There's the
at 12 to nothing. It's hard in today's football. It's hard to win a game to 12 to 7. Like that's a hard thing to do in modern football because anything can happen. You can just break off a run, and the way we tackle in the secondary. I know damn sure that eventually somebody's gonna get to the second level, and we're gonna do a whole bunch of laying and make business. Right? So,
but 18 to nothing, 18 nothing. I'd have felt better going in.
Yes.
No doubt.
If the field goes, I would have said we'd have won.
Yep. That's all I wanted to. That's how I felt.
And momentum's a real thing, and 12 points isn't momentum. And it never is. It's not. I mean, we've seen the Gators come back 10 points to win a game in the last 9 minutes. So 12 points in the first quarter. I don't care. I don't care who you are. That's not my game's not won with 12 points. I don't care if there's 4 minutes left on the clock.
Well, we had
not the Gator, not these Gators.
Foul, the spit and deal. They don't score the first half, but still.
That's true. That's very true. That changed the momentum because we would have won. I think we probably would have won 12-0. Napier would have probably played conservative once we got the punt, but we would have went up 12-0 at the halftime. And they would I think they were getting the ball out the half, and I think they would have been reeling, pressing a little bit, and they might have made a turnover or something like that. But I mean that play that was probably the turning point in the game. So then they had momentum going into the half.
If we look at the season as a whole, we lose to Arkansas by 3 points. We lose to Missouri by 2. We lose to Florida State by 9. That's a total of 14 points. Yeah. Each of those first two games, Missouri and Arkansas, were one play away from a win. Florida State, we're sitting here debating whether this is one or two plays, right? And then we can further argue the thousands of plays that there were that are those 4 plays. Okay.
Right. Mm-hmm.
The bottom line to me is your 14 points and 4 plays is the difference between 5-7 and 8-4. And that is not Florida coaching. Okay, it should be the difference between 8-4 and 5-7 should be 30, 40 points, not 14 over a whole season.
We scored 30-some points a game. I mean, we should win them.
So, in the SEC, that's questionable. In the SEC, that's questionable. You got to. Our defense has to be better for 30 points to make it. For 31 points, we need to have one of the top 2 or 3 defenses in the SEC. Period.
I don't know about that.
If you're going to skate by with 30 points, buddy, that's just how it is.
You be 5-7. You can be 5 to 7th and ranked in defense in the SEC and be okay.
With
I don't
30
think
points, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah. Maybe
in the East.
Let me ask you a question, Donnie. When we had the Cal Pitts era, our defense was horrible too, right?
It was.
Yeah, that was one of our better offenses.
And that was the Talking Gators point. You need to be explosive. How many games did we played in some close? I ain't gonna say close games. We played some games with them offense. We had to score that many points with how putrid our defense was, right?
Because Demo never Dan McCullough never recruited one damn defensive player, and he still hadn't recruited one.
All right, Terrell.
Paying for it.
Terrell,
I'm with you.
let's. I need to wrap this wound up, man. We can't. We can't continue. I can't continue to bleed out here. I've got to wrap this up.
I'm gonna give you the guide to success for
Terrell,
the 2024-2025 seasons for Florida Gator University.
And I'm gonna let you lead that out and Donnie, let him have the stage. I'm interested to hear what you have to say, but he's got a pretty hot take on what the Gators need to do, especially in the quarterback coaching relationship back there, and then moving on to 2025. It was awful controversial on High Top the other night. I don't disagree with the guy. And again, I don't disagree with him because I don't know enough to coach college football. I don't know enough to have an opinion on it. I think there's consequences no matter how you look at it. There's pros and cons, and there's skepticism and optimism no matter how you look at it. So, Terrell, what do the Gators need to do in 2024?
All right, first thing first, right? I'm like I said on High Top the other night. I'm happy we lost. I'm sad we lost. I'm happy we lost at the same point in time because this gives Billy Napier a chance to hit the portal hard, finish this recruiting class out strong. I did not want to go to a meaningless belt bowl, not Chick-fil-A bowl, somewhere in the middle of Arizona, nobody's watching bowl. So now he has basically. Yeah, all those bowls, those nonsense bowls at the university, this not to the standard of a bowl game for the University of Florida, right? So for the next couple of weeks, Billy Napier can hit the portal as hard as possible. He can find these coaching replacements because tonight, I don't know if you made aware, but he did relieve Corey Raymond and defensive line coach Sean Spencer of their duties. They're no longer part of the University of Florida coaching staff, just to make you guys aware if you want to aware before this. So obviously fill these coaching voids, make a decision if he's going to hire some new O-line coaches, make a decision on all of that. So that's the most important why I didn't want to go to a bowl game. Now, moving into 2024 season, this is how I see it, right? DJ Lagway enrolls early, right? I think he's going to be an early enrollee, right? I think he's coming in December, which is basically next week. And he'll be on campus from December all the way to the beginning of next season. 2024 is important for Billy Napier for two reasons. He basically has a 4-year deal before it's a yay or nay whether they're going to fire him. But he can buy himself an extra year beyond 2024 if he starts DJ Lagway. And I say this with some historical precedence. For you, Donnie, I know you remember Ron Zook, right?
Oh yeah.
And you remember he was a hell of a recruiter, correct? Would you
One hell
agree
of
with that? Hell of a recruiter. Now I remember firsthand. He recruited Chris Leak, right?
Aggressive.
Sure did.
Chris Leak started as a true freshman for the University of Florida, correct?
Yes.
Yep.
Chris Leak beat LSU in Baton Rouge as a true freshman, correct?
That was Mike Archer. He was the worst coach ever in the SEC, but for LSU.
Yes, I'm saying to go to Death Valley. We know what Death Valley presents, right? 100,000 fans, loud noise. We took a true freshman in a row. We were able to win those games. And back then, you were in the BCS. You was in the BCS era, BCS era, where only one or two teams were going to make the national championship game. Correct.
Right.
And we don't have a chance in 2024 making the national championship game. Correct. We all agree on that, right? We're not making the conference playoff next year, right? We would agree with that. We're not going to be one of the 12 best teams.
No.
We would agree with that, right?
We'll be lucky we have a winning record. You want to pull that?
Okay. It make it even better for me, Donnie. You're speaking my language right now. This is what I'm saying, Donnie. If that's the mindset, you already know we're lucky to have a winning record next year, right? You already know that, right?
7.
You know that, right? You know that. You going in saying we can hopefully get 6-6.
500.
That's your game plan, right?
500 is
500, right? 6-6, right, Donnie?
500.
You would hope to get that, right?
If he's 500, it'd be coach of the year next year.
So this is my question. What use is it going 500 with Graham Mertz and knowing he's not going to be there in 2025? What's the use of Graham Mertz next year? Can you explain? This is my point. Graham Mertz is basically useless. Not say useless, but he should only start maybe the first 3 games and then turn it over to DJ Lagway. I say this because, right? I feel if you allow Lagway to take his lumps early, 2024. Because a lot of the teams we're playing, like I think Texas may have a new quarterback because Quinn Ewers is going to the NFL. I think Oklahoma's going to have a new quarterback because Dylan Gabriel is no longer going to be eligible. I think Tennessee's going to have the kid they paid all that money to, Nico something, next year as a freshman quarterback who didn't play any snaps.
I saw him Saturday. He needs a lot of work for that $2 million.
Okay. This is what I'm saying. Miami's going to have a new quarterback. I think Tyler Van Dyke is not going to be in it. They want to get rid of him this year, so they may play the guy they played against Florida State who got hurt, who basically only played a half and looked horrible. Right? This is what I'm saying. We give all the snaps, all the fall camp, spring camp, all the reps to DJ Lagway. We're going to go into a lot of attrition. Not a lot of attrition, but we're going into a difficult schedule. Let him take these lumps a year early. Because what I don't want to happen and let him start taking his lumps, we go 6-6, we go 5-7. I don't care. Because next year's schedule is a gauntlet that does not matter who's the quarterback with the current team, the team, the construct, the way it is right now. We don't have a chance in hell of getting it to over 6-6.
Hey,
and
Terrell, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I wasn't able to share the schedule because it changes the screen, but I do have the schedule pulled up. So
I pull up. Who's our first game? I'm gonna go through. Who's our first game?
Miami.
Go through that.
We got an opener against.
And we don't. And their quarterback is probably shitty, right? Will we agree with that?
Yes.
So we that's a freshman to freshman. It's gonna be a dogfight game. That's not really gonna take a lot of lumps. He's gonna take his lumps, but we can win that game. That's a winnable game with DJ Lagway if he gets all the reps. Keep going. Who's number 2?
We got Sanford Bulldogs and the UCF Knights followed the next week.
The Stanford Bulldog game should be a DJ Lagway special day to work out some kinks from the prior week, get some learning experience, and put up some numbers. That's a winnable game, run game if we have to. The Central Florida is a tricky one because they played a lot of competitive games in the Big 12 this year, so that's a toss up. But I don't see why. I don't even know who their quarterback is. I think it's Reeves Plumlee, but I think he's probably out of eligibility right now. So that's a possible win. Keep going.
All right, so we don't have confirmation, but I can almost guarantee a Tennessee and Kentucky, and maybe Tennessee and Texas. We got Texas Longhorns next year. So maybe Tennessee, Texas, Kentucky. So that's probably your next 3 games.
Okay, so Tennessee, they're going to be playing a freshman quarterback who didn't get any snaps this year. We would agree with that, right?
Yes.
So what like the point I'm making is there's a lot of first-year quarterbacks we're going to be playing. I think Quinn Ewers may be going to the NFL, so maybe Arch Manning next year.
There's a lot of opportunities for Lagway to actually start and be successful.
Yes, because you're not going – if our defense improves halfway to what if they play half the way they played the Florida State game, then they can keep us in some of these games and live with the Lagway experience. Because I'm saying 2024 is a wash, but 2025, if Lagway takes his lumps, and he is what everybody thinks he is, this is all contingent on Lagway being the black Jesus, aka to the white Jesus, Tim Tebow. If he's the same caliber player, can uplift, can do all of those things, 2025, once Lagway has a year on his belt, the defense, everybody's juniors and seniors, we are looking at a playoff team in the 12-game playoff. But you cannot wait to 2025 for Lagway to get that experience that is uber important for 2025. The 2024 is a no-go. We're not doing anything in 2024. I don't care if you bring Cam Newton back, Tim Tebow, Chris Lee, with the team that we have constructed. We're not doing anything in 2024. So let Lagway get his experience, take his lumps, get beat up, get hardened, then we go all in on the transfer portal. I'm not a big donor, so let me not sit here and say use all this NIL money, right? But you give as much NIL money in the portal as possible, and you rally around for 2025 for Lagway, because that's the year. That's Billy's year. That's what Billy is working on, is 2025, making the playoff as a 10, 11, 12 team in the playoff.
Terrell, you quoted 2025 has to be a championship year, and I think you meant
it has to be a playoff year. I meant playoff year. It has to be a playoff year. You have to be in the playoff.
Right.
Because if you're in the playoff, you're not firing a coach who takes you to the playoff. What you would say is, I've seen progression. You got your guys in, you recruited well, you got your quarterback that you picked out of all the quarterbacks in America. We gave him the NIL money, and now he's here. So don't waste. You also got to think about it like this way. Most players are not staying on campus longer than 3 years. Think about it. Anthony Richardson only started 1 year and was the number 4 pick in the draft. So if Lagway is good his sophomore year, that means you only have him for one more year, his junior year, and he's gone. So let's get 3 years out of him. We may get two playoff opportunities out of him, his sophomore and his junior year. Let's not just wait on one. Basically, we kill his freshman year. Then his sophomore year, we play him. He takes his lumps. He gets his experience. And then you're banking on his junior year. But Billy Napier can't afford to wait on his junior year, because Billy Napier may not be here in 2020, 2025, 2026, depending on how 2025 goes. Right? So I'm just saying, for that perspective, let him take his lumps early and then build on everything on 2025 season. That's my stance, Donnie. Respond is how you made it.
We have Miami, Sanford, UCF, Georgia, Florida State, Kentucky, LSU, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Texas.
Texas A&M is in there too.
Texas A&M.
Yeah. So if you are, this is the thing. I agree with you, Terrell. Okay, I agree with you.
You agree? Start Lagway.
I think
He's our man.
That if that's okay, so no, that's not what I'm going to say. So I remember Tebow coming in for Chris Leak in different situations early in the year. And they both won a national championship together. I would say that I would create a competition between Mertz and Lagway, but I would know my future is Lagway. I would definitely have packages for Lagway to help him gain experience, but I don't think I would just remove Mertz out of the equation because you gotta still show some promise to recruits in the future.
But that's what Lagway's for. If Lagway shows that, he sells the program for himself.
I get that, but you don't want to throw him out there because there's a lot of difference between Division I and high school football. Okay, so
can I ask you, Donnie? Can I ask you one question in response to that? Are you a big NFL guy?
Yeah, watch NFL.
Do you know CJ Stroud? Do you know CJ Stroud?
I played baseball in college. I played basketball, baseball, and football in high school.
Let me ask you a question.
I watch it like I eat it. I eat it up. All of it.
Let me ask you a question then. Are you familiar with CJ Stroud?
Yeah.
Would you say the NFL is a different animal than the NFL? College is a different animal than the NFL?
I think it's easier to play quarterback in the NFL than it is in college.
Okay, but you're still going to get superior athletes in comparison to you are in college. Faster D linemen,
100.
better wide receivers.
But you got superior athletes in front of you blocking for you instead of.
I would. The point I'm making is right. Yeah. It can be done. I think we have to do it the right way. We have to do it the nuanced way. That's why I say what I'm saying, I don't want us to like, if we bring Graham Mertz back, we put all this stock in like we're going somewhere when we're really not, and it really should be a developmental year for DJ Lagway because knowing he's the future for 2 more years.
I agree, but you got to be careful when you do that. Okay, I get it. This Billy Napier's job's online. He's going to have to make that hard decision, but you got to show loyalty in some aspects to the guy that's brought you. He's brought it his A game every game, Graham Mertz. If he comes back, he might not even come back. He might go to the NFL. I don't think his arm's strong enough, but
me either. I agree with you. I think he's a backup.
Well, I can tell you right now, if Lagway comes out and shows some promise, if it doesn't get turned over to him and he comes out and shows promise, Gator fans aren't going to care about loyalty. They're not going to care if Lagway comes out hot. And
I'm talking about the coach's aspect. Okay, I'm not talking about fans because we know the fans always like to back up quarterback all the time, right?
That's true.
I mean, you say Leak was great, but every game I was at and I had season tickets, they were all wanted Tebow to come off the bench. They didn't care what Leak.
And they didn't know Tebow couldn't throw like Leak at that point in time in his career. He couldn't throw the ball. But the thing about Lagway's supposed to be an advanced pocket passer, can have the mobility, have all of that. Good. You see what I'm saying? Like, so what I'm saying, he's probably a better fit for his offense. Like we saw, he's probably his first year he's a blend between Max Brown and Graham Mertz. He's probably going to be potentially be better than both of those. But if you can blend both of those together, that's the prototypical. Like
that's what I'm talking about.
That's what he presents. Yeah. That's what he provides for us. But like I said, but Max Brown is no longer going to be on the team when DJ Lagway comes because DJ Lagway usurps him. He's already a number 2 quarterback, damn near number 1.
Yeah. Max needs to go. Miller needs to go.
Yeah, I'm with you. So how many games do you think you need does Graham Mertz need to play before you turn it over? Or do you do the 50-50 thing all year, which I don't think helps either one of them, right? I don't think Mertz comes back to the 50-50, but I think that conversation needs to be had in the offseason.
Well, I think if you're starting Graham Mertz in the season and then turning it over to DJ Lagway later in the season, I think that's backwards of how you need to be doing it. I think you need to be putting Lagway out there against Samford, against Miami, UCF, and probably Tennessee. Even if you've got Mertz, even if Mertz is your man, you're going to want to get DJ out there, maybe even starting or definitely getting some snaps. Getting snaps.
I say this. Let me say this before you go, Donnie. I think who's writing these NIL checks, it has to be something to be said because I think he's getting a big NIL check, and I think this is going to play a factor into it. Somebody's going to force Billy's hand for him to play. Like, I just think it may not be. I doubt it's going to be Scott Strickland, but I think that money talks in these instances, right? I mean, if you're paying this guy $2-3 million, Like
Does now.
I think it's going to be because everyone. This was Billy's guy. Billy wanted him out of all the quarterbacks in the 2024 class. Billy is hitching his wagon to DJ Lagway. He has to see that through. And I'm just saying the experience. You can't replace experience.
I want to talk about confidence.
You can't bring all this hype and then bring him in and then not show him off.
No, you hurt a kid. Well, they brought that kid into Tennessee. He paid him $2 million a year, and he sat the bench all year.
Yeah, but I don't think his seat gonna be hot. I don't think he had 5-5 seasons, or 5 and 7 seasons.
No, you're
right. I don't think he had
right.
that. That's the difference.
I'm saying confidence. All right, so you want to make sure. Again, psyche is a big thing. These kids are 18 to 22. Right?
I'm with you. I agree. Yeah. I agree.
So the psyche to develop, to be able to read defenses, be able to speed of the game, all those different things. If you are not prepared, and I'm not saying DJ's not, because I've been very impressed with him and I like him, and I know he's our future. I no doubt. But you can also, that kid could be a Tim Couch before it's over with because he don't have the confidence any longer that he can do the job.
Let me ask you this, Donnie. What is the psyche of the team right now after going 5 and 7, 2 back-to-back seasons? Because are all player psyche fragile? Like if I'm losing, I'm going 5 and 7 back-to-back. What about your left tackle?
I don't know. They need to have a good mental. They need a good. They need an office in that $80 billion freaking complex they have. Somebody handle some of this mental stuff.
Yeah, I'm saying that everybody's fragile. Everybody's psyche fragile. We just can't worry about the quarterback. The whole team. If we're going 5 and 7 and back-to-back seasons, what is the psyche of the team? It's fragile at this point in time. Let's just be honest with it. What I'm saying is, this is my other point.
They need to look in the mirror. They don't need to be fragile. They need to look themselves in the mirror and say, "Why didn't I do a better job? Why can't I tackle anybody? Why can't I tackle anybody anymore? I did in high school."
Yeah, I'm with you, Donnie. I'm just using your point that all of these kids are 18 and 19, and they're all going to have some fragile, some mental instability when it comes to losing. Nobody wants to lose. Nobody came to the University of Florida to lose, right? Unfortunately, that's what's happening right now. But let me say this one point about the 2024 season. The schedule is not going to get easier in 2025. We're still going to play 12 non-SEC teams, Oklahoma, Alabama. We don't even know what the schedule is in 2025. And if we don't get Lagway that experience, then that's going to take – then basically you lose a year with them. Like, I think we need to capitalize on every year. And we all Florida fans know going into next year, our over-under for wins and losses is probably set at 5, maybe 4.5.
And so with everybody else with young QBs that are going to, be starting them this year, they're going to have that experience in 25
that we didn't get in 24.
Right.
That's
the other two teams we're not on that schedule right now are Texas A&M and Tennessee.
They're not on what schedule? 25?
24.
But we play Tennessee. I know we play them. That's an annual game, right?
Yeah,
that's usually our conference opener.
Yeah, normally that's Kentucky or somebody like that.
The one that I'm looking at, it doesn't have it on there, but I'm saying Texas A&M and Tennessee are the two that we don't. They're showing 10.
That's a new coach going there. Mike Elko's going there. So like we have some advantages. Playing Lagway, I don't necessarily. I may be exaggerating when I say start him from day one, but he has to get majority of the stats. Because what do you in 2025? You're setting yourself back. I feel like 2025 with the recruiting that Billy's done can be a playoff year. For me, I feel like that's honestly his playoff year.
I think the portal, and I think depending on what he has to work with, I think that's going to dictate the first 3 games of the year. I said the first 3 games, I think Mertz will start, but I think eventually Lagway will take over.
But let me ask you a question. What do you do? Then what does Mertz come back for if he's not going to get the opportunity to play the rest of the season?
He doesn't know.
Might as well go.
Kids don't know that.
Hey, you don't think he's aware that DJ Lagway's incoming and he's getting paid $2 million in NIL money? You don't think he's aware?
He's got an NIL deal.
Yeah, but I'm sure that as much as Lagway's.
No, he's getting about $800,000.
Ain't no way.
Yeah. So why would if I know a dude coming for $2 million and I know he's the future and Billy has to be upfront and transparent. That's the one thing I hope Billy would be. It's saying, hey, if we get off to a rocky start, I'm turning the keys to Lagway because I got to hit you my feet. But if you know that if that's a possibility and you look at the team that you got, knowing the gauntlet that you're facing in the first quarter, maybe let's say the first half of the season, if you get to game 6 and we 2 and 4. Lagway starting, you wasted my senior year.
You know, Terrell and Jay, I'd rather pull my britches down and sit in freaking fire ants than try to coach college football anymore.
In today, I mean, I was never qualified to do so, but in today's,
me either. I've never. I mean, I've coached a tad bit, but it's mostly young kids. Nothing major like college, high school, or college, anything like that. I'm just saying from the vantage point, dealing with the money aspect, dealing with the personalities, dealing with the transfer portal. You got to keep Lagway happy too. Because it may be somebody else who may swoop up, but you got to keep all these kids happy.
There's
right?
a lot of boosters out there with a lot more money than what Florida's offering. I promise you.
Yeah, I'm
especially
sure
if he's good.
I think though that kid's loyal. I think that kid's fighting.
I agree. I think he got the right. I think he come from the right stuff. I think he got the right background, the right parents, all that type of stuff. But if you tell him something, and if you told him when I come in, I'm gonna play half the season, and you don't hold true. Now Billy got to hold true. I'm sure Billy's telling him like we may not be as good, so you're gonna play half the season. I'm putting packages in for you, and then Billy don't hold true to put packages in for him. I can't expect him to be loyal when you got lied to.
Yep.
Right.
Exactly.
Recruiting. I think Billy's recruiting class, if it stays together, that'll keep him here for at least 2 years. So.
All right. Well, I promised a little controversy on that one with Terrell, and I knew that was going to be hot. But I'm glad we explored that because I don't hate that. And again, I can't say I'm all for it. I just don't know enough about it. But I do know that Gator Nation is not a patient nation. We don't like the word sacrifice. We like wait till next year. We don't like wait till the following. But also as an honest Gator, you're not going to build the program that we want in 2 years. You're not going to build it probably in 3. And so I am right now willing to sacrifice for the right recipe. Okay. If it's Lagway, getting him that experience and taking that, 500 season next year or maybe even another 5-7 season, but knowing that he is the man of the future as a young kid and not as a junior who could go somewhere else, transfer portal, Mertz, but someone who we can build and invest in this season, 2024. I am for that. I am for investing in a kid to come and be a Gator. More than I am investing in the portal for, one successful season for instant gratification. So I am for that. Now, I don't know enough to say, whether, Mertz should sit or go, or we it's pretty much guaranteed Max Brown's going to be, even if that whole package stays together, he's the third man. So he's probably not going to hang around for it.
They say he's going to go ball anyway.
That's I'm for that, Terrell. Let's see what's the worst that can happen. So let's say we do put Lagway in game 1 all season. Donnie B, do you think we can do 5-7 or better?
Man, I have no clue. I don't know what's DJ. I don't even know what's going to be. Let's talk about that, Nick. I don't even know what's going to be.
I think we can, and I think we're on the fence with that with the dues.
We already got 10 on the portal.
Donnie, I got to get to your dues.
We got 10 guys in the portal?
Yeah, just about. Yeah.
Please tell me it's Damian George. And
I know Odom left, and I know the kicker Mihalik left. I didn't see anybody else. Who else left?
Well, they're making a list of kids that are going in the portal right now. I don't know if it's official yet. They can't do it till the 4th. They can't do it till the 4th anyway.
Yeah, but you can put. You can put the little statement out there. That
Xavier Frazier's going.
Oh yeah, he's going to wide receiver. I knew he was leaving because he can't. He hasn't been on the field. He's number 0.
There's a bunch of them, man. I got a list today.
Who's on your list? What you got? You got it up?
I can't pull it up right now. Hold on.
Okay.
Find it. I can't pull it. There's a list of them.
Take your time.
Donnie B, give us your. By the way, thank you, Terrell, for sharing that because it brought up a lot of controversy Saturday, and High Top's concern with that was us Bo Nixing, Lagway, which I don't really see that's a whole different dynamic. And
I think that was. I don't think the fan base kind of turned on him, but I don't think our fan base would turn on him knowing that the fan base is already iffy on Billy, and they would say it's more Billy than DJ Lagway.
And I think if we're measuring heart, DJ Lagway is more of a Gator than Bo Nix ever was a Tiger or a Duck, right? So You know, that has a lot to do with, we talk about psyches and passion. Passion's a real thing. You know, if you want, if your whole life as a kid, Terrell, you know, you grew up playing Pee Wee ball. If your whole Pee Wee ball experience was you just wanting to put on a Gator uniform and run out in the swamp, that's going to hit a little different. That offer is going to hit a little different than the other offers, correct?
I would
I would
wholeheartedly
know it
agree.
would for me. I know it would
I
for
would
me.
wholeheartedly agree. I wholeheartedly agree.
So
I'm with
maybe
you
there's the
talking Gator.
difference. Hopefully.
I'm with you. Like, I don't think you're gonna break a kid's psyche, mental. I think freshmen start all the time in certain places, right? Let's look at all.
And I don't think you're going to
Carson,
do it to him. He's built differently than Bo
yes.
Nix, right? And you can see it in his
Look.
character. He's just built a little different.
See, my only thing is, I would, if we were Alabama and we were Georgia and we had this talent around, like superb talent at every position around you, I would say wait 2 to 3 years and you can ease. I mean, you could wait 1 year, you can ease DJ Lagway, but we don't have that level of talent. He needs to be he has to be the force multiplier for us in 2025.
Yes,
But he has
force
to bring the
multiplier.
team
Yes,
along. He has to bring the team along in 25, make heroic plays because we don't have the talent that Alabama has. Look at Alabama. They were horrible at quarterback for the first 3 games. They were able to win games and allow Jalen Milroe to gain confidence to get better. We don't have that luxury with the talent that we currently have in going into 2024 or potentially 2025. Like we don't have 5, 6 years of top 5 recruiting classes of depth build on the offensive line, defensive line, wide receiver. We don't get to pick of the litter of the best players. We have to go and recruit extra hard because we're rebuilding the brand, rebuilding the program. Amen. So to do that, you have to put something out there that the kids want to gravitate to. And DJ Lagway has the face, the smile. He has that new level of quarterback, dual threat, can throw the ball, can run the ball. He's a hell of a recruiter from all accounts. So he's the leader of the recruiting class on the offensive side of football, right? You need to showcase that at any possible turn, especially for Billy. Take DJ Lagway out of it. Billy needs it because if we go forward, if we go 4-8, 6, 5, and 7 with Graham Mertz, people are gonna be calling for Billy and asking why he did not play DJ Lagway if you were gonna have a horrible season. That's my only piece. That's why I say what I say.
Donnie B, I'm gonna turn to don'ts for 2024 over to you, and I'm gonna turn the show over to you about 60 seconds. Go ahead, sir.
Well, the thing is that I'm looking at it right now. So they're really blowing it up on social media with Raymond leaving. I can't believe Corey Raymond's gone. Be honest with you, that shocked me when you said that, Terrell.
Yeah, I wouldn't let him go. I felt like he's a hell of a recruiter, but who am I?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand that. I don't understand that. Might hurt with some guys coming now. I don't know. But regardless, I really don't know. I really don't know how 24, turns out. And I'm like you, though, Terrell. I don't think it even is going to matter. But I don't think I guess my don't would be I wish we wouldn't have got rid of Corey Raymond right now because that's the newest. That's looking already into recruiting concerns. Look, look, we got a coaching Division I. The eyeballs are on our Florida Gators always. People, you either a Gator or you're a Gator hater. That's all there is to it, Bubba. I mean, there's no in between. There's no gray area. I mean, that's just the way it is. So we have to. I don't know, man. I don't know how 24 shows up, but we need to give him time to build the program. If he feels that's his quarterback for the future, which I think it is, he needs to play the young guys next year and build for it and not worry about these seniors and juniors that hadn't helped us one damn bit.
I'm with you. I feel like I was disappointed this year. He didn't play Aiden Mizell, Andy Jean. In my mind, kids aren't staying on campus for 4 years anymore. Like if you redshirt a guy may go to the NFL after his redshirt sophomore year, like Anthony Richardson. Anthony Richardson only played basically 13, 14 games. It was the number 4 pick, right? So let's not waste years when we're putting receivers out here who didn't matter. I like Khalil Jackson, but I felt like we could have used more speed with Aiden Mizell and Andy Jean. But like, play these guys next year. Take your lumps. Go 5 and 7. Preach college football playoff. Like preach all this stuff in 2025. Like you have to. That's your only option, man. That's for us, where we are right now.
Good point.
Yeah, well, the thing is like, I think they said Xavier Flazen's coming back.
Safety from Texas. That's safety from Texas. That's the fast safety from Texas, right?
Yeah, he's staying committed.
He stayed committed.
He's staying with his 5-star. But
Yeah, I know.
I don't know now. Corey Raymond going. I don't know. We'll
He
see.
was a Corey. Was he a Corey Raymond guy?
I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know. Anyway, this is the thing. Next year it's going to be like camp all year long. Winning that, if we sneak out 5 or 6 wins, I'll be happy as a kid. You know, drinking Kool-Aid and eating candy bars all day long, man. I'm telling you.
I honestly,
I'm not
y'all
worried
may
about
be
wins and
surprised.
losses next year. I'm looking about what this program is going to be like 2 years down the road.
There you go.
Yes, I'm with you. And you know what's crazy? I'm just one more second so I can get it. I think we can win 6-7 games with DJ Lagway if the
I
defense
don't.
takes a step forward. No, the reason I say that I think our defense will be a lot better a year or two in the new system. All these freshmen we played that we littered out there, then they're sophomores. Now they know the SEC, the rigorous of the schedule, right? And I think a lot of other teams are gonna take steps back. Like Florida State was basically a NIL transfer portal team this year. Have they been recruiting? They haven't been recruiting that well, so that may be a win. They're gonna have a new quarterback. Rydermeyer didn't look good, so if they put him out there, that's a winnable game. With if DJ Lagway is what we think he is, he has an opportunity to win some of these games, and you have to give him the opportunity. Is what I'll say.
All right, we'll just say this. Let's say this with the team that we have on the field this year. All right, let's just do that.
Oh God.
The team on this field that we have this. Do we beat Miami
With Lagway or with the team?
Lagway?
No, regardless of the quarterback.
No, I think Miami beats us, regardless of the quarterback.
Right. Sanford Bulldogs
Win. I mean, it's
UCF.
not a given. None of these are given.
I think we win because we have more talent. I think, but that's a 50.
Yeah.
That's a 50-50. I'm gonna say yes because I'm a homer. So yes, we 2-1.
Okay. UCF.
I'm saying yes, we win. We're 2-1.
Georgia Bulldogs. Georgia Bulldogs.
Obviously, it don't matter what we put. We ain't nowhere near Georgia. We 30-point loss regardless. No matter
Florida
what year.
Florida State.
Going into net, I think yes with DJ Lagway. Yes, we win.
In Tallahassee.
Miami almost beat them with Emory Williams at quarterback, so I know we can beat them. You can run the ball. I think we can beat them with Lagway this year. Yes.
Kentucky Wildcats.
I mean, they ain't got no. I think Mark.
That one's in. That one's in.
That was in Gainesville.
Yeah.
That's in Gainesville. So I think we could potentially win that with. I mean, we can win
We
that with
got
Graham
beat
Mertz.
2 years.
We can.
We got beat 2 years ago with a fifth ranked quarterback in the
portal.
The fifth ranked quarterback that's drafted by the Colts, and we got beat by Kentucky.
Yeah. I mean, yes, but he played horrible that game.
LSU.
No. They don't know who the quarterback. They don't got no quarterback either. Jaden Daniels is gone.
You don't know Jaden Daniels. You know Jaden Daniels want to be a Gator. Did y'all know that?
Yeah. What's that guy?
Did you know that?
Yeah, I did know that.
McElwain. Mullen turned him down. Dan Mullen turned him down.
That kid's good.
I can't blame Dan. Dan Mullen had Kyle Trask, and that turned out wonderful, right? I can't Dan Mullen was not the problem offensively. It was just he didn't want to recruit. That's what it was. He didn't want to recruit. He didn't buy in. He wanted to be an NFL coach in college, basically. And you can't do that. You get out recruited.
I have my perfect coaching scenario. Jim McElwain as head coach, Dan Mullen as offensive coordinator, and Muschamp as defensive coordinator.
Yeah, listen.
Let him share $10 million a year and just give.
No, but if you look at that schedule, Donnie, as you saying that, look how many teams are going in with the unknown quarterbacks. Just think about what you're saying.
Right, but look at this. We got Miami in the swamp.
Uh-huh.
We got Sanford in the swamp. We got UCF in the swamp.
Yep.
We got Kentucky in the swamp. We got LSU in the swamp. We got Ole Miss in the swamp.
And we got Texas A&M in the swamp. We got a lot of home games next year.
So think about it. It's easy to ease Lagway in home games and on the road. So if you got 8 home games like that, maybe 6 or 7 home games like that, like why not get him that year at home where you can control the crowd noise? The defense is gonna be pumped up. They're gonna rally behind them because the following year, majority all your toughest games gonna be on the road.
I agree,
and that's when you need the experience to buy in. That's when you need him to have the experience.
I'm just bothered we firing the wrong coaches right now. That's what I'm worried about now.
I told y'all when the show first started that they let Corey Raymond and Sean Smith go. Sean Smith, I didn't care so much about.
With me.
I didn't look at the D-line. The D-line didn't show me anything. So I was fine with him to go.
Spencer's not recruited worth the damn since he's been there. I'll get rid of him.
But Corey Raymond had that pedigree. He was recruiting it. I'm disappointed they let him go. He had the pedigree. Maybe I just felt like he could have been a defensive coordinator over the last 2 DCs who were 25 and 30 or something like that. They were young guys, right? You see what I'm saying?
Mike,
So
Mike
I felt
Peterson.
like
Mike
they
Peterson.
let him go.
No, I'm saying Mike Peterson and Corey Raymond run the defense.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Mike Peterson's an NFL player. Corey Raymond's got the pedigree for DBU, reputation putting kids in the NFL.
Yeah, all them LSU dudes, he put in probably 25 LSU dudes over a decade, if not longer. Like he didn't recruit, he didn't forget how to coach DBs.
And I would have never hired a 29-year-old freaking defensive coordinator ever.
I mean, I don't
care
know
if
who
he
was
wears a
available.
visor and he looks like Kirby Smart. I don't care. That don't mean he ain't got the experience. He don't have the experience to run the Division I national championship pedigree football program. Our Florida Gators. He ain't ready for it.
That's a fact.
Terrell, we gotta get to. We're working on an hour and a half, but I do want to get to your don'ts for 2025. It's pretty much just very. Yeah, 24. I'm sorry. 24. It's pretty simple. Just what do we need to stay away from? Maybe it's not that simple, but go ahead, sir.
No, it's I'll keep it short and sweet. It's 2024. We need to stay away from preseason hype. That's what we need to stay away from. Because I know every Florida fan goes into the preseason saying we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and we're going to get the expectation so high, and then we're going to call for Billy's job after 4 games. When realistically speaking, if you took away your Florida glasses and you look at the schedule for what it is, and you look at the talent on the field, you would say that this team isn't ready to compete with some of these teams we're going against, right?
Agreed.
Like
I agree.
I hope that we go into the season hoping for 6-6, 7-5. I hope that that's the range that we're looking at. Maybe if we go 5-7, 5 to 6 wins should be our ceiling. No less than 5. Now, if we go less than 5, I got a problem. But 5 to 6 wins and maybe 7, and we play the youth. This is a youth movement. Billy was brought here to redo the program in his likeness and to recruit his butt off, to get some discipline, get some order. I hope we see all those things: discipline, order, procedural penalties. I hope we have a special teams coordinator. I don't want to see any of the same errors repeat themselves for 2 years in a row. I don't want to see clock mismanagement. I don't want to see special teams not being prepared to know when to go on the field, how many players to have on the field. I just want to clean up as many procedural things and bad practice habits that infiltrate into the game. And I want to see. And my last thing is, I want to see clean tackling. I don't care if you. I don't care how you get the man down to the ground. I want to see clean, legit tackles and discipline. Clean. Those are 2 things that they cannot go on from 2023 to 2024. And play the young guys. Now play the young guys. Clean tackling, no procedural errors, and just make sure that the product looks smooth on the field. Win, lose, or draw. Let's have a good reinvigorated young freshman and sophomore team who lead us to 2025 playoff.
I could make the argument that what you said there, just cleaning up these little procedural things, I could make the argument that the team we have right now would have been 8-4 if they had cleaned up 4 or 5 procedural deals. Agreed? Because I mean, I broke down the points to you: 3 to Arkansas, 2 to Missouri.
Arkansas game, that's a win,
right? Missouri's
like
probably
a
win. Okay, so I mean, it's definitely discipline, and I'm with you, Terrell, 100%. I'm really glad that you came onto our show here at Talking Gator and spilled your beans. We appreciate your time. Is there anybody you'd like to shout out to before we let you go?
No shout outs, man. I just want to say thank you to you and Donnie for giving me the opportunity. I may have been a little long with it at times. I'm new to the YouTube spaces, right? The YouTube spaces. My wife told me just go take a leap, just do it. That's why I called it the high top one time, because I seen he had an open call line, and they kind of messaged me in the chats. Oh, if you ever want me to come back in, you got my phone, you got my contact information.
We are definitely.
Shoot me an email, and I mean we can go through in the spring or after signing day, after the portal season ends. We can talk about any additions and subtractions that we made from the team, and see how that kind of helps us, and see the coaching hires and all that stuff that Billy Napier makes. And like I said, I appreciate you gentlemen for having me on tonight. It was a pleasure. It was always fun talking to some Gators and relieving some stress from a horrible season that we had, and we only looking up in 2024 and beyond. Yep. So you gentlemen have a fine evening, and thank you for the opportunity again.
Thank you for your time, Terrell, and definitely I'll be in touch. We will definitely be doing this more regular with you, especially rolling into football season next year. Maybe we can work out you coming on pretty regular with us.
All right, sounds good. Thank you. Y'all have a good evening.
All right, my man. I appreciate you coming on.
All right, bye-bye. Have a good one, Donnie. Thank you, Talking Gator. Bye-bye.
Enjoyed it.
Hey guys, we're gonna go into a quick break. Donnie B, when we come back, we're gonna move into basketball. Officially close football season here on the Talking Gator. Talk a little basketball, and we still have some tickets to give away. But you should have been listening before now. We'll be right back. Welcome back, Gator fans. Once again, I want to thank Terrell for stopping in. That was a really good take he had on Florida football there, and we're going to have him on more, hopefully through the recruiting season, spring, and then, of course, when we roll back into the season next year, we'll have him on. But now, Donnie B, you and I, we're going to roll into some basketball. What you think about that? Gator fans, what y'all think about rolling into basketball? Florida men's basketball. Right now, 4-2. We took a loss to Baylor Friday night, and that was a really close game. We only lost by like 3 possessions, and even though it was a loss, there are some promising things on Gator basketball. This Walter Clayton Jr., man, he's got some shades of old Torian Green. You remember him back in 06, and I'm really I'm really excited to see where basketball goes. Florida heads to Wake Forest. What is that? Wednesday for the SEC ACC matchup, or the little bout. What time is that game? That's going to be at 7:15 p.m. Donnie B, what you thinking about basketball so far? What you thinking about heading over to the ACC and playing a little ACC court?
ACC challenge that comes up. It's pretty good. Jimmy V. Think it's really a great the whole layout, the whole challenge. I'm kind of optimistic about this team. I've watched them dominate Florida State, beat them by 20, beat Pitt, which was they won the ACC last year, and then had a really good game against Loyola Marymount, beat them. Because they beat Florida International, Florida Atlantic, but they're a team that's going to battle. They're going to be in every game. There's going to be no blowouts. There's no blowouts this year. I can tell you that. Done a great job in the portal, bringing in some studs, man. You mentioned a few of them, but just kind of give you some names that we need to look out for.
Walter Clayton was a transfer, right?
Yeah, Walter. Well, there's a lot of them. There's pretty much a whole new team from last year. So Walter Clayton is from Iona, that where Rick Pitino was coaching. He was under the weather. He had an IV before he played the other day. He was sick this past weekend, and that's another reason why I think we fell a little short to Baylor because he usually controls the front. He just didn't have the energy.
Yeah, I didn't look at his scoring to see how it compared.
Yeah.
Folks,
Now
I
Zion
literally
Pullen,
have I literally transitioned into basketball earlier this afternoon, so I've been off football up until now.
Zion Pullen, that dude is legit. He's gonna run the 3 spot, and
He's forward, isn't he?
The 3 spot, and he runs the floor really well. He can take it the length of the floor. He has a good shot, a little short middle shot. He also can hit the 3, but he plays with a lot of energy, big guy. Then we have Riley Kugel, which he came back this year, but he almost went to the NBA last year. That's a returning player from last year, Riley Kugel. He's a leading scorer right now. He's averaging, let's see, I don't know, about 17 points a game right now. And we got some tall dudes, man. We finally got some height at floor. We got some 7-footers. We got a 7'1".
There we go.
Yeah, we got some 7-footers that we need to look at for this year. Basically, our team is. I think coach has done a good job. He went in. He didn't like last year's makeup of the team. He went in the portal. Most of these guys are new to everybody. Alex Condon. We mentioned Zion Pullen, Clayton.
So this is good news to me. Transitioning from football into basketball, knowing that there's some fresh guys there on the court that I can get behind this year, and it's a little refreshing. Honestly,
Tyrese Samuel.
Yeah, the whole team.
Listen,
did we just recruit a whole new team in the portal?
They have. It's a whole new team. This kid's averaged about 9 rebounds a game right now.
Damn.
So he had let's see, 10 against Pittsburgh, 8 against Florida State, 11 against Florida A&M. Virginia had 11. Loyola Marymount, he had 8.
Wow. Yeah.
So I can't remember that. Who's that center for the 76ers?
I don't know.
In the NBA.
I don't know.
Can't remember his name. There's some skip. But anyway, he reminds me a lot of him.
I was thinking earlier today, where did Corey Brewer go?
Oh, he's played all over. He's done now.
Right, but where did he go first?
Houston Rockets.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. But I mean, we've got some good backcourt play. We're going to have a lot of strong presence inside. I want to listen to this roster. Listen to the heights on this roster now. This is going to blow your mind because you hadn't been able to say this in I don't know, probably a Billy Donovan years.
Shoot.
Let's see. So listen to this. You ready? This is it right here. Let's see, basketball. Hold on a second. I'm gonna pull this up real quick. I had it up, and then I started looking for things we were talking about with football. So just a second. This is something that gets you excited. Okay, you ready?
Go ahead.
Look. All right, check this out. Here's the roster. Now, I'm not going to give you the whole thing. I'm going to give you some marquee players. Okay. All right, we got. Let's see. Where are we at?
All right, while you do that, I want to do this.
Yeah.
All right,
go ahead.
You pull that up.
I
want to give away some tickets.
Yeah.
I got 2 tickets to Talking Gator. Thanks to a couple anonymous but generous sponsors, Talking Gator wants to send a subscriber and a friend to the SEC men's basketball opener in the O'Connell Center, January 6th against Kentucky. That's an orange out, so we want to hook you up with an official online Gator Sports Shop gift card as well, so you can freshen that up on your way to the game. Here it is. This is all you have to do. I strategically inserted 3 Gator national champions. Their names into the show. I've said 3 Gator national champions by name. Could be basketball, could be football, could be both. I will tell you it's not outside of basketball or football, but I've named 3 of them. First one in the comments, I'm going to give you 60 seconds. First person that can tell me those 3 names in the comments is going to win those 2 tickets and that official online Gator Sports Shop gift card. You have 60 seconds starting now.
You mentioned more than 3. So
Nope, I've only mentioned 3 previous national champions. Yep.
All right.
You just mentioned one, but that doesn't count. I strategically planned, so I had to have mentioned it, not Donnie B. You said Billy Donovan, so
Okay.
it's not. And I'll give you another hint that these are actually players. These are not any coaches. I mentioned 3 players, Gator national champions, either from football, basketball, or both. I mentioned 3. We're at 30 seconds to give me those 3 names. Donnie B, you wanted to pull something up and read it.
Yeah.
You got that? You got that?
Listen to this front court. This is our height. We haven't had this in a while. And this is the short guy, Thomas Hall. He's 6'9". Okay. We got Alex, and I can't pronounce his last name, Siesmach. He's 6'10". He's from Frankfurt, Germany. That's why I couldn't pronounce his last name. Alex Condon, 7 foot, 230 pounds, freshman from Australia. Can you believe there's kids that tall in Australia? That's crazy.
We need to add up the height, see how far it stretches.
Right, exactly. But then you have let me get some more here. We got Zion Pullen. That's the kid I was talking about. He's 6'4". He's from California. First year with us. We talk about Walter Clayton, 6'2", from Lake Wales, Florida. That's why he came back.
And he looks so damn short on the court too.
That's why
Patino
went to St. John's, and he wanted to go to St. John's with him, but he decided to come home and play for us because he's from Lake Wales, Florida. Okay. Riley Kugel, we mentioned him. He's 6'5", from Orlando, Florida. Great kid. Micah Handel-Galton, 7'1", from Lake Norman, North Carolina. Took one away from the Tar Heels up there, so that was good. Tyree Samuels, he's the one that's 6'11", 239 pounds. He's from Canada. You think Golden went out and found some boys?
Yeah, we got outside the Swanee River on that one, didn't we?
Yeah, so Will Richards, he was recruited real heavy by Georgia, Alabama, Auburn, and he came to Florida. Was a good kid. But these other kids, but you look at that height we have down low, 6'10", 6'11", 7'1". It just makes a big difference. You're showing some height, some size, and you got some speed on the backcourt. I think we're going to make a run this year. I think we'll definitely be in the tournament, but it's going to be fun to watch this year.
That's my favorite part of basketball season is a tournament. Hey, Donnie B, I gave him 60 extra seconds, and we still don't have a correct answer for the tickets. So the Talking Gator is going to retain those, and maybe we'll give them away, try to give them away again. But we don't have a winner, so we have. We're gonna move that. We're gonna change the game up, but we're gonna keep those and maybe give them away here next week. What do you think?
Hey, you might want to just name who's the head coach of the Gator basketball team. Maybe we'll get them. We'll get rid of them next time.
Todd Golden.
Yeah. Hey, you win the tickets, Jay. Look at that. Boom.
I can't win the tickets.
I know, but I'm just saying. You better make it a little bit easier,
So Gator basketball is looking promising this season. I know we're excited about it, especially after lackluster, to say the least, football season. I mean, I'm ready to cheer for the Gators, man. It's been
You got to
five.
cheer for
It's
no matter
been
what.
it's been
We're
5 years, man.
we're
Since
saying
or
all
five,
kinds
not
of
5 years.
weather.
It's been
All
5 weeks since
Yeah.
since a win, since I felt a win, and I'm just ready. Hopefully the Gators can head up Demon Deacons and put it down up there on their court and bring a win home to the SEC. We hope
All
so.
kinds of weather. All kinds of weather. We stick together, buddy.
That's
Wins or
how it
lose.
is.
Remember that.
Hey, folks, don't forget, you're going to be able to catch Donnie B and I live Mondays, 8 p.m. We're going to hold off. The Talking Gator will return on Saturdays. These will be post-game, but we'll return. We might do one for the game on the 9th. That'll be next weekend, Donnie, maybe. There's a club championship I want to play in that weekend. But then we don't see Gator basketball on Saturday again until the 30th of December. So
Right.
that will be, unless we decide to do one on the 9th, we'll make sure we post something to let you know if we're going to do one on Saturday post-game. But next Monday, Donnie B right here. You going to be here?
I'll be here, Bubba.
I'll
Absolutely.
be here. Subscribers,
Terrell.
y'all be here.
Awesome.
Look forward to seeing y'all as well. Donnie, you got any closing thoughts for us before I turn this loose? We're working on, we're knocking on the second hour.
Guys, I always enjoy this. We're trying to get better at it, trying to keep you interested. But I appreciate this is fun every Monday night.
Thank you, folks. That's our show. Don't forget, live Mondays. Like and subscribe to the Talking Gator. We'll catch you later.